Okay. First of all, I'm really proud of our team. I thought there was a lot of maturity that happened today, which I'm excited about. That was a great team win. We struggled in the first half. It's very obvious. At halftime, our deal was we need to go out and win the second half. We need to win the second half. We need to win the fourth quarter, and we did do that. We ended up, like I said, it wasn't pretty, but it was a great win, and there were a lot of twists and turns in that thing, a lot of ups and downs, but it's great to come out with a win. It's great to be 2-1, and it's great to have a bye week because we need it to get a few guys healed up. So excited to be a Sycamore today. It's great to get a win.
Mike, what at halftime did you talk to Matt Adam about, and what kind of fostered his second half improvement?
Well, I think Matt Adam wasn't horrible in the first half. We were horrible, I thought. We shot ourselves in the foot a ton. We put ourselves in a lot of second and long and third and long situations because of penalties, a variety of different things. The other thing that Matt was doing in the first half, because we got some pressure a couple times, he was bailing a little early. And one of the things we talked to him, Brian Shepard talked to him about at halftime, was staying in the pocket. And he still ended up having to scramble, but there are times when you can stay in the pocket just a little bit longer and make better decisions. And I thought he did a good job. I also thought our offensive line and our backs pass protected better in the second half. And I think that ties in. And then some guys made some great plays. I mean, that was, I used to talk, when I coached receivers, I used to talk about make superhuman plays. That Rob Tonyan catch was a superhuman play. That one down their sideline, that was as good as it gets. You can see that on any level there. And then the 4th and 3, that was actually a bootleg call. It could have been just a completion for a first down, but they squatted on it. Gary ran a comeback. The guy sat on it. It kind of got carried out, and he just went. And Matt made a beautiful throw, and we scored a touchdown. And then, but it wasn't over. We still had a lot of water to go under the bridge after that.
In regards to Gary Owens, can you just talk about his intuitiveness as a receiver? He makes, and I don't mean this as a criticism against Matt, but he makes his receivers look good, and certainly he did on that touchdown. But just his feel for the game and his, intuitiveness to put himself in that position to make that play. He's been doing that all year, and just talk about.
I would say that we have 3 guys that have great intuition, football, FBI, football intelligence. And that would be Gary Owens, Rob Tonyan, and there's a guy that doesn't get mentioned much, but he just does a lot of little things. Samson Livingston. He has really good football intuition. All 3 of those guys. Obviously, to answer your question directly, Gary has outstanding football intuition. The thing that I love about those guys too is they believe they're going to make a play. I mean, they're talking on the sideline in a real good way. Not in, because I've had some guys in my career that were, give me the ball, but in a really good way they say, hey, coach, I'll go, give me a chance and I'll go make a play. And you can't ask for anything more.
Coach, you guys are 4th and 3 there at the end. You decided to go for it. It worked in your favor. Take us through the thought process behind that decision to go for it as opposed to...
Okay, the first thing was there's a lot of decisions that went into that. First of all, at halftime, we had a choice of which direction to go. The win was significant today. When we decided we needed to go after them, we needed to change the game in the third quarter. So we took the win in the third quarter. And it turned out working out for us. But there at the end, on that situation, it was 4th and 3. The ball was outside the area where we felt like Eric Heidorn could kick it into the wind. We had a yard line we had to get to into the wind, a yard line we had to get to with the wind. That makes sense. We were outside of that area, so it was a go for it situation for us. And the good thing about it is we had a play that had both play action in it, a quarterback rolling out where you could possibly hit a guy in the flat for a first down or a dragger for a first down. But then we also had Gary running a comeback, and on that play, as the thing carried itself out, Gary saw it becomes almost like a scramble play. He took off, and Matt laid it up, and it was a touchdown.
What were you thinking when you saw that, him catch it and touchdown?
I loved it. I was beside myself, but I was thinking about the next play, and then I was worried about, I saw the flags, and that was, we've got to be smarter than that and not do that. We got flagged there, and it could have cost us, but then we had a decision to make on the kickoff, and as far as whether we're going to kick it deep or whether we're going to squib it, and we made a decision. We kind of put it on our kickoff cover team and said we're going to kick it deep. We're still kicking into the wind. We have a better long distance kickoff guy, although he didn't play as well as he should have played today. But there was a decision there about kicking it deep. We have some history was behind that, and we made a decision to kick it deep.
Mike, when SEMO changed up their offensive look, when they changed quarterbacks and Jackson got hurt late in the first half, so they switched to their speed back McCullough and their fullback. How much trouble did that give the defense? Because it seemed like that look that wasn't their natural look going into the game was pretty effective for them in the second half.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the quarterback. I think he came in and gave some spark to their offense. He made some things happen. That play at the end, and you knew if they were going to throw the ball, somehow they're going to throw the ball to Roberts. And we didn't do a very good job of defending it. But we did put in victory defense. We had 3 tall trees out there. We had Jamar Brown, Robert Tanyan, and Hockey Woods back. But they found a way. So,
Coach, with the running backs being out, Lamonte Booker being injured, talk about how they came in, the backups really played well in place of Lamonte.
Very proud of those guys. Roland Genesee played really well today. Marlon Fleming played really well today. And I think that the best thing that we did at running back today is that we protected the football. Because that team got 7 turnovers against Southern Illinois. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we only had 1 today. The interception that was a tip ball early in the game, I'm pretty sure. That was the only turnover we had. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not positive of that right off the top of my head. But the best thing that they did is they protected the ball. We said we had to win the turnover ratio battle today, and that was something we did.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of that, you guys needed a spark the second half. Travis Starks provided
Huge.
that spark. Huge interception.
That was a difference maker play in the game. Obviously it tied the game, but it gave us like a whole bunch of juice, and that it was just like that was big play. That was a huge play. What a great, first of all, great interception, and then what a great run. And one of the things we do on defense is we practice that. We practice scoring on defense. We actually have guys blocking when we intercept the ball, and we did an excellent job of executing that, and he made a huge play.
Mike, the test of mettle that your kick or your 2-point conversion coverage team had to pass twice in the last 2 minutes. You don't see that very often, and they had to go through it twice. Didn't get it done the first time, but just talk about what you were talking to them about on the sideline on a all or nothing 2-point conversion.
Well, it's kind of one of those deals where, we had some guys out. Connor Underwood pulled a hamstring, and that's why he was out. He doesn't have a long-term injury yet. He pulled a hamstring. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but he wasn't playing, I think, from I don't know if it was early third quarter on. And so, we had some guys out, obviously. But it's all about those 11 guys out there doing their job. And that was key, and that's what ended up happening. Guys did their job, and we found a way to defend it. And they tried, once again, I think they tried to throw it to McRoberts. Right. And I think the ball was thrown too high. And he's tall, but he couldn't go that high.
He was well cut, even if the ball was on. I looked, there was about 3 defenders around him. Did you discuss that with the defenders?
Yes, Gerald Alexander did a great job of communicating with those guys on that play. over on the sideline. And if I remember right, I think we took a timeout so we could. What I wanted to do is a little bit like basketball. I wanted to get them to go out and kind of show what they were going to do. Then I called timeout at the last minute so we could kind of get our bearings straight and defend that. So, and Gerald Alexander, our secondary coach, Brian Cabral, our defensive coordinator, Shannon Jackson, our defensive line coach, and all of our defensive coaches did an excellent job of communicating and coaching that right there.
Coach, talk about how in the second half you changed it. From the first half, you went 1 for 10 on third down conversion, which is really
1 for what?
1 for 10 on third down conversions. You had 10%. Then you went in and you ended 3 for 5 in the second half, 21 unanswered points in the third quarter. Talk about what you said to him about that.
Well, basically our deal was we were frustrated. We knew we could make plays on these guys. We knew we could move the ball. We knew we could score. But we kept shooting ourselves in the foot in the first half. And we talked to him about coming back, being on sides, don't false start, eliminate the holding penalties, eliminate the dumb penalties, and come out and win the second half. It was all about winning the second half and winning the fourth one. And that's what we told him.
Mike, you're obviously happy with the result. How happy are you with the way the team if you look at a big picture, how happy are you with the way the team is playing going into the break and then starting conference play when you come back?
Here's what I would say. I'm extremely happy that we came out with a win today because I think we fought through a lot of things. We fought through some injuries. I think there was some, I think there's, you're a team, in the course of a year, there's a whole thing that happens of developing a belief that you're going to win. And I think with us being able to do that today with a lot of guys that were not starters, at the beginning of the year, that's huge. I can't say enough about that. And I feel really good about us going into a bye week, 2-1, and going into the Missouri Valley Football Conference. We have a very difficult game on the road. We open up 2 games on the road. All I'm going to talk about is the first one at Missouri State on October 3rd, and that's going to be a big game for us.
One last thing from me, in regards to Matt, can you just talk about the process with how patient you need to be with them? Like you said at halftime, it wasn't all his doing, the offensive struggles, but trying to make sure he stays patient too, in the respect of not getting discouraged by protection that might have broken down or something and stuff like that. How do you? What's that process?
I think there's a whole thing there of coaching the detail of what he can improve on, analyzing what he's doing wrong and what he needs to do better. I think Brian Shepard did an excellent job of that at halftime, and I think Matt listened and listened to coaching, and we said, hey, Matt, you're the quarterback, and you're going to find a way to get this thing done in the second half. So,
anything else, guys? Yes. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.